What's up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to spend some time figuring out the new Berkeley Nessie soft glide bait. So strap up, we're going to get some underwater, we're going to get some fish catches, all the stuff. Let's check it out. We'll see you there. First off, guys, this is the Nessie Swimbait. It is 6.5 inches long. It's got a nice brush tail on it. It has got this interior, it's like a mesh material holding these two sides together. It's got these plastic fins on it, and it's got that whole hook hanger that's the same as the Cole Swimbait. So here is this bait, right? That's about how big it is. The things that I've noticed: one, this hook has to ride in that plastic nice and secure, or you're going to miss bites because of those plastic hooks right there, or those plastic fins right there. Sorry, but really this bait has a lot of drawing power. Caught a couple fish. Nice clean bait here. Nice one. T-boned. Another nice fish. Look how he has that thing. Straight up choked it. So guys, what I'm doing with this bait is I'm fishing shoreline cover and I'm pulling fish out from that cover. I'm also fishing shade lines in pockets. This bait is a really visual bait. It does not have a lot of loud rattles or a lot of water movement. What it does have is a lot of visual appeal as you twitch it. I'm fishing this bait almost exclusively with reel twitches because reel twitches are making the most of that action. And we can really see here on that miss bite right there. Reel twitches really get this bait to look really good underwater. It's got a great visual appeal for fish. It's one of those baits where you're going to have to spend a lot of time fine-tuning your presentation. It's not an easy bait to fish out of the package. If you ride it too high in the water, it can look and swirl and kind of do some funny things. If you ride it too low in the water, it can do that. If you upward rod twitch it with a lot of swim baits, you can get good action. With this one, you can't. It's just one of those baits where you really have to hold your rod low, fish it with reel twitches. Rod action is almost nil when you try to rod twitch this thing or jerk it or get a chop out of it. It doesn't do it, but if you chop that reel handle, you'll get a nice chop and walk out of it. I really like the brush tail. I feel like it has a nice subtlety to it. Now, the thing that you really got to consider is you have to pinch those hook hangers shut with every fish that you get on the bottom, because if that hook comes out, it kills the action 100%. Also, I have noticed that those plastic fins kind of get in the way if you don't have that hook right in there. I had about 7 or 8 followers. I had 5 or 6 fish that bit but didn't hook up. And I feel like the plastic fins really got in the way, so I'm going to play with that more. When you're learning to fish a bait like this, it's a good place to do it in a pond, because you can learn kind of what triggers the fish, what the fish like to see. We don't have any money on the line. The pond is where I learn a lot of lures for the first time. So it's just one of those things to consider. I have the footage slowed down here of this bait, but you can fish it pretty quickly and it won't blow out. But if you use rod twitches, it'll blow out sideways. It's just one of those touchy things with a lure like this that you got to kind of figure out on the fly. So a couple observations about this bait. One, this is the same kind of drawing power that you are getting with a hard glide bait. Now, I say that with a caveat. This bait is a lot harder to work than a hard glide bait. You have to really kind of know what you're doing with the swim bait to get the most out of this bait. You can get it to chop and glide with reel twitches. You cannot get this bait to chop and do what you want with rod twitches or rod action. The rod action, if you high stick a rod with this bait, it's going to kill the action. So that's the first thing. It does have the same drawing power as a glide bait, but you got to really spend time and you got to fine tune it. 2, this is a visual bait, right? I'm fishing this bait in situations where I can see and make fish react. That is where this bait shines. I was throwing up into cover, bringing it out from the cover, making those fish react. I got a ton of followers. I don't know if you can see them on the video or not. Hopefully you can. Hopefully it's overlaid right now. But I got a ton of followers on this bait because it was simply pulling those fish out from that cover. I was fishing shade pockets, shoreline cover in the pond today just to get a feel for what this is before I go out on the big water and really put this thing through its paces. I have a feeling this is going to be really good around docks, around standing cover, and also over top of
weed beds. Now, this bait really does shine in a visual situation. And I mean visual situation by this bait is going to do well when you've got fish cruising the bank and you can twitch it in their face. It's got that same profile as a glide bait, but it's got a slightly different action, right? Those fish that I caught were hooked well. I missed a few on this bait. Now, I was running the hook different ways. When I missed a few on this bait, I had the hook riding like this. I flipped the hook just to see if there was a difference and put that one out like that, and then immediately caught 2 fish, but then I missed a couple with the hook out like that. So it's gonna come down to personal preference, really, how you rig this bait. I think you can run it either way, and I think that you miss fish on this bait because of these plastic fins on the side that are right by the hook hanger, right? So I tend to like to fish the bait like that, with that hook hanging out, versus that buried hook like the coal shad or the mega bass mag draft in that situation. Now, the other thing that I noticed about this bait is you cannot twitch it with your rod. You have to fish this bait with your reel. Now, when I'm fishing it with a reel, I'm talking about those subtle hand cranks like that. It really are going to get you the action that you want. This bait has a nice chopping action back and forth like that, almost like a chad. And it's not the same, but it's very similar. Now, the thing that is really nice about this bait, one is the fact that it's a soft glide and it has kind of that soft glide bait feel that's almost the same as a fluke, right? I really like fishing a fluke this time of year in the post-spawn, early summer, because fish are gonna annihilate this. This over top of weeds and flats on big lakes is really probably gonna play really nicely. I really enjoy that. I'm looking to spend more time on this, but the one thing I noticed, hook like that too, you got to do it all with your reel handle turns, not rod twitches on this bait. And that kind of brings me to what I was fishing it with. I'm throwing this bait on 15-pound fluorocarbon straight 7/6 medium heavy rod with a 7-to-1 gear ratio reel, and it was doing a really good job. This could be a jig rod. It's my swim bait rod, my medium action swim bait rod for those lighter swim baits. Had some good hookups, really excited to see this bait in the future. It is not a hard glide bait. It's not going to work like a hard glide bait, but it is gonna do some of those things that are very similar in action to that profile. Guys, if you like what's going on the channel right now, you wanna support us, go to Omnia, buy from our links, help us out there. Also, like, subscribe, comment, get in the comments, let us know what baits you want to see underwater. Get on our community pages. We have polls on there all the time for what you guys want to see next, or what you like to fish and what we should fish, to show you how to do it. And just let us know, guys. Hey, give us a like, subscribe. We'll see you out there next time.